Hi guys, today we're gonna go through some steps on my tips on how to choose your perfect foundation shade. It never goes wrong and you will actually ended up with your perfect shade. But first we're going to be talking a little bit about color corrector, something you asked me so much, the difference between this and concealers. So color corrector, correct color green, correct red, salmon or pink, correct purple. And then we have highlighters, and then we have also our skin shade concealer and darker to contour. And also I'm gonna start with showing you how it goes. So I'm gonna start with the green one. Green one corrects redness. So first of all, let me tell you that color correctors correct color, but they don't correct imperfection. So make sure you first correct the color of the imperfection you're going to be covering if it has some color. Otherwise, you can go ahead and just apply your normal concealer. But if you wanted and needed to correct some color first, go first all over the area and then tapping motions with the green shade if you wanted to correct redness, like here that I'm doing all over the areas I need to. And then make sure you apply on top of this your skin shade concealer. Why? Because if you just leave it like that and you put a foundation on top, you'll show through the greenness, so we don't want that. So now I'm going to be doing exactly the same with the pink shade, with the salmon shade. This purple, it works good if you have some kind of a yellowy, too yellowy skin shade undertone. That will work for that. For the dark circle areas, we're going to be working this salmon shade or pinky shade. We're going to be applying in this area, but once again, this just corrects the color, doesn't correct imperfection. You always will have to add some color skin shade concealer on top. So once we have all these color corrector applied wherever we need to, then we need to take our skin shade concealer and apply it on top of each of the areas we apply this color corrector. That will make sure you have a kind of blend out type of shade, and in any green and no salmon and no any different kind of shade will go through and show through and show on the foundation. So this is a very important step. Once we have all of that covered, we're going to be using the skin shade concealer to also conceal my dark circle areas and also use it to conceal some other imperfections around the face that doesn't need any color corrections. So use color corrections just when you need to correct color. Use just concealer with areas that you need just to conceal imperfections. Okay? And as you can see, I'm doing just tapping motions once again, so I don't want it to move any work I've done underneath. And if you wanted to add a little bit of highlighter on the dark circle areas, you can go for 1 or 2 shades lighter of your skin shade concealer. This is not completely must do, this is optional. You can just conceal your dark circles or you can actually highlight the area. So let's go through. Green conceal red, salmon conceal dark purple, then we have highlighters and your skin shade concealer, and you have darker shade that help you to contour. The purpley type of shade, it will cancel some yellow on your tone, redness, your skin shade, and highlighter. Question I've been asked so much: when to use foundation first or concealer first? Okay, if you use concealer first and then foundation, you will have a more natural concealing. It will be much natural at the end. It will look a little more blending altogether. And if we go first for foundation and then for the concealer, you will have a more kind of deep, intense conceal. It will show a little bit more high coverage and more perfect finish. Okay. So now let's go for a foundation. Before we choose and apply the foundation, let's see what undertone we are, cool or warm. So to do that, we need to take a piece of jewelry, silver for cool undertones, place it around your neck and see if it works good for your skin. And if it doesn't, you're not cool, and if it does, you are cool undertone. Take a gold piece of jewelry and do the same. And if it works, you are warm undertone, and if it doesn't, you're not warm undertone. If it works both, you're neutral. So now we have less range of foundation to go through and choose ours, because now we know that we are cold undertone or warm undertone. Take 3 of the foundation you think it may work for you, and on your neck, create 3 streaks. Why on the neck? Because we want to create a one color neck, chest and face. So it's the best thing to do is to just color that matches your neck and blend it. Blend these 3 lines of product we apply and check out which one blends better to your skin. It must be not showing at all. So if it seems a little bit light or dark or a bit too pink or yellow, it's not your shade. And if it doesn't show at all, that's your perfect shade for use. Now let's go through some of the tools. To get a more natural finish, use a damp sponge. If you want a little more high coverage and blend at the same time, you can use this kind of kabuki brushes. You also can use their original flat brushes to apply foundation, but they normally require a little bit of blending afterwards, and you can use your hands too, of course. Now, the way that I use how I apply my foundation, I add some dots of foundation around my face, on the forehead, on the cheeks, on the nose, and also on the chin, and a bit on the neck if I have left. So the trick is to apply the most foundation on the central of the face and blend it toward the corners, toward the border, the contour. Why? Because normally we have the most imperfections in the central of the face, and the foundation should be used to cover imperfections. If you don't have imperfections, you shouldn't use foundation. So you should cover these areas which normally have the more imperfection with the more quantity of product and blending toward the outer part. Don't forget the ears and blend to the neck, into the chest and the jawline, all of that. But don't worry, because if you have chosen the right foundation, you won't have so much problem blending in. But make sure you apply the most of the foundation on the central of the face and work the product. Make sure you don't buff it too much if you have applied a lot of concealing underneath, otherwise it will move around and it will lose all the work you've done previously. Make sure you don't miss the jawline, and also you don't miss the line of the growth of your hair just on top of your head. That's a place that we normally kind of miss it out, and we see kind of patches there, also just nearby the ears. Now, next step is going to be setting everything, because we have to set the foundation. One step I like to do after applying my foundation completely, because it takes a little bit more than 1 minute, and it's just press it with my hands and make sure everything stays in place. And I set it. I'm gonna go for a loose powder, translucent loose powder, because I have a dry skin and I tend to get a little too dry if I use a compact powder. But this is completely optional, then you can change it and adapt it to your skin shade and skin type. Next, gonna be bringing a little bit of the volume back to the face. We need to, after we apply all the concealing and the foundation. For that, I'm gonna be contouring, but if you're not up to contouring, you can just warm up a little bit the outer part of your face with the bronze. That will bring back a little bit of the volume, and it worked really good. You don't see that flat effect on your face. A little bit of blush, and then we're done. This is all my techniques and all the tips that I can show you for choosing your right shade foundation. From now on, you don't have any excuse you don't have it. And for sure, you need to try it first. Try your foundation shade on the store and go outside and see if the shade works good. And also try it first. Let them girl on a counter to try the foundation for you, and go home and check it out and see if it works for you before you buy and invest in a foundation, which is one of the most important base steps on the makeup. So make sure you have your own shade and your own type that works good for you. So try it before you commit. And that's it. That's all that I have to say today for choosing your foundation shade. Hope you enjoyed. Here you have a direct link to subscribe to my channel and the previous tutorial. I hope you enjoy it, and see you next one. Bye!